Okay, so hi. My hair is very oily because it's time to wash my hair. But anyway, I'm here to discuss or talk about this book I finished reading. I fell in love with Hope by Lancali. So let's talk about what the book is. Book ki kole. Let's talk about the story. Apparently, it's a novel. So it starts off with this person, this things here to be a person remember. So narrating about the lives of a bunch of teenagers. Sorry, wait. Okay. Narrating the lives of a bunch of teenagers who are living in the hospital. So narrator is called Sam. This person's name is this narrator's name is Sam, and Sam narrates about the lives and the life before the hospital, the life in the hospital, and the life after hospital of a bunch of teenage kids. So we have Neo, we have Kerr, then we have Hikari, then we have someone called Sony, and then there's a nurse called we have Nurse Eric, and then so some of the background characters we have are Henry, we have someone called Nurse Ella, and another Sam. That is the Sam that was there before this narrator Sam was even there. So we have that, and it centers around the lives, like I said, of these terminally ill teenagers. So it talks about how they are struggling, how their lives were before they came to the hospital, and what happened that made them come to the hospital, and how their lives are going, hospital nalu, and what they know they're gonna die soon, because terminally ill, like I said more. So she wants to the shiva, but they're teenagers and they haven't had lived life a lot. Life to live mabe. Most of them have spent chunku galera have spent their time being ill more. So they within this given period of time that they have, they don't know how much they tried their best to live the life to with whatever limited resources they have and whatever limited time they have. And uh so now so what I like about this book is how the author subtly introduces the topic of death into it, within the storytelling, the within the conversation that these characters are having with each other. Death ki kole they talk about a lot, and it's never serious like, oh, I don't want to die, oh nga dove anzu me mama. They make it into something very light-hearted, something very palatable to both the listener and the characters. And I like how it talks about how these kids most of them, they don't have very good family lives, how they came together and created a family of their own. And I like the way the narrator game has narrated. First, now, of course, I'm not gonna be like, oh, first I'm like, how go you say them in love, but it was difficult for me to get a hang of at first, but then I eventually got a hang of it. And so the narration style is somewhere in between poetry and prose. So I really like that. And what I don't like about it is that it's very dramatic. And I mean, the characters are very dramatic, and um most, maybe because of the upbringing I have had and the life I have lived, I feel like most of what these teenagers are doing probably not feasible or might not happen. Maybe it happens in the West, but maybe it happens now, but back when I was a teenager, I we wouldn't do that. Ani no me. So it's not exactly that I don't like it. It's just that I found it hard to understand and relate. Semewa. Then other thing is that maybe because I'm very old, or maybe because my clinical brain was turning on, I was like, they shouldn't be doing this. They're in the hospital for a reason. There are protocols in hospital in place for a reason. These kids are just putting themselves at risk. Say no way. I was mad most of it. I was like, no, 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 no. Look, there are hospitals. So look, there are, you know, be in a controlled environment. Say, but on hind, after I'm saying it, in hindsight, I can see why they would want to go out, because they, like I said, they most of them have spent their lives sick and Shinirende, so no Talu, they might want to live their life. So yeah. But yeah, the clinical old lady part of me was like, oh, and y'all just do say are very are responding to it overly dramatic. Say no, but again, it's my personal bias. It's not the reality. Personal bias, sir. It's my personal opinion. It's not. I'm not saying that everybody's gonna feel that way, but that's how I felt. And then the main themes is hope. Obviously, it's hope. Then it's about love. It's about trying to live your life to the fullest, within the given time that you have. Then it's about friendships and finding home and family where you might not have, you typically would not expect. And mostly I feel that it is strongly geared towards teenage rebellion. Alu teenage labbe. I feel like it was really geared towards teenage rebellion. So no me. What I feel the target audience of this book is, I don't know, it's very bright for some reason. Okay, so what I think are the who I think are the target audience for this book. We have the teenagers and young adults, maybe early 20s, who like love stories and who like stories like Fault in Our Stars and 5 Feet Apart. I'm thinking, I'm hoping is the right title. I don't really know, but yeah, something like that. And yeah, maybe if you're going through something like that, if you are also suffering from terminal illness, maybe this book might help. I'm not gonna say that it makes you feel better, but it might make you feel like there's someone out there who understands how you're feeling. So overall, Ani, and so I don't normally read any romantic novels. Romantic novels, there's a lot of talk about love happening between the two Sams, the two narrator Sam and the Hemagi Sam. Then we have the love story between Neo and Ko. Then we have between Sam and Hikari, and Sony, who was just trying to live a life because she's the oldest of the gang. So, Maggie, I don't normally read love stories or romantic novels for that reason. I mean, for that matter. But anything I booked, let me know. So I picked up this book because I was thinking it would be something like Paul Kalantegi, and what do you call it? When breath becomes air. It was something totally different, and after I picked it up, I was like, "Yeah, let's read it more." Say no way, read Bay. Yeah, so it's not my slice of cake. I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm just saying it's not my slice of cake. Then I wasn't sure how I felt about it. So on Goodreads na jo I was trying to read other people review, and they were saying things like, "Oh, it made me cry, lo, amazing book, lo," and some love there. But I didn't feel any of that. So yeah, if you, it's a very light read or maybe heavy depending on how you emotionally react to it. Um, but it's a bit too dramatic for me. So yeah.